Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Pigskin. Boy, we got a loaded show tonight. We have a guest on here, Billy Regans Jr. Welcome to the broadcast, Billy.
Good morning, guys. Blessing to be here. Appreciate you guys bringing me on the show. Look forward to having a great time with you guys.
Yeah, we're going to have a really great time. Let me give everybody an overview of the show. We're going to talk about the Miami Hurricanes Pro Day, which I attended yesterday. We'll talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers' new quarterback situation. I'll be interested with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Travis Holmes came up with a pretty good topic about 19 quarterbacks that were selected during a 2-year period, and only two of those 19 are starting, but we'll address that a little bit later on. So let's get to it. Let me introduce the crew. Smoking Jeremy, welcome back.
Hello, glad to be here.
All right. And then, of course, we got Travis Holmes.
Hey, man. Football all day long. Let's go.
That's it. Football Talk with Bo.
How's it going, guys?
I'm doing great. And, of course, we've got Coach Bono.
Hey, Scott. How you doing, guys? Good to be here.
Doing great. And finally, Mel Farr Jr. Glad to have you on.
Hey, great to be back, guys. How's everything going? Sorry I missed you guys last week.
Oh, that's okay. We're glad you're back. So, all right, well, let's get to the show here. We have a really good one in store. I happened to be at the Miami Hurricanes Pro Day yesterday, and some of the people I ran across were Coach Mario Cristobal, Colts tight end Will Mallory, Canes assistant Jason Taylor. Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce was actually there as well. Cam Kitchens, well, the safety was obviously a top prospect showing his wares off. And I also had an opportunity to speak to a Canes running back that you're going to probably see a lot of this year, and you did last year, Xavier Restrepo, who will actually be at next year's Pro Day. And, of course, the one thing that was interesting about watching the workouts was Dan Campbell seeing all these guys in T-shirts and shorts. And we all know that people like to go ahead and talk about it. So it was all the way around a really good experience. So I'm going to go top to bottom, and we'll start with you, Mel. So let's talk about the value of the pro days. Okay, Mel, what type of value do they have to the players and everything? We know there's teams are sending everybody out there. What can a guy get out of it as well?
I think the only thing you can do in pro days is help yourself. or excuse me, some guys can help themselves, but one of the big things you can do is really hurt yourself. If you don't go out there and perform well, you can hurt yourself. There's not a whole lot of upside unless you're a speed demon and you can go out there and just flat out fly. Then you have an opportunity that guy there, a guy who may be projected based on tape as a maybe, mid to late second rounder, maybe even a third rounder. All of a sudden he jumps up into the first round because he can fly. Because that's one thing you can't coach. You can't coach speed. You can coach everything else, but you cannot coach flat out speed. So, but for other guys, some of the top guys, you can hurt yourself by going out there and having a bad performance. If you don't, unless you're one of the, real top players who's put it out there on film. But some guys, who may have been thought as a second round or a late first rounder and goes out there and doesn't run well, doesn't move well, you can hurt your draft stock. So, these guys nowadays, there's no reason for a guy not to run fast because all these guys after their final game, whether it be a bowl game or the championship, conference championship game, or even just the end of the season, all these guys do is they train. They go out there and train. They go to somewhere, whether it's at altitude or whether wherever it's at, and they train. When I was playing, we didn't have any type of organized training or anything like that. We didn't, we trained on our own. We went to class and we trained on our own, and then you get the invite to the combine and you show up. I remember me and Ken Norton, we might have trained for the bench press. We might have trained like 2 or 3 days to do the bench, and then I know Gaston and we went out to the track and we ran a couple 40s on the track. I re-pulled my hamstring on the very last step. So I didn't run the 40 at the combine. But I remember we didn't train. I mean, I can only imagine if we had the opportunity to train the type of numbers that we would have been able to put up. So there's no reason to go out there and have a bad combine with the way that the amount of time that these guys have the opportunity to train, especially in a running event, because they're going to teach you all the form and get off and all that stuff. But the only thing you can really do at the combine is hurt yourself. That's the only thing that you can do is hurt yourself. Like I said, there's some guys that can elevate their position. You go out there and run a time like the guy ran 4.22 or whatever it was. You help yourself. I mean, when I was there, Gaston Green ran a 4.27 and a 4.29. All he did was help himself. He was the first running back drafted that year, number 15 or number 16, whatever. He helped himself by running that fast. No, I mean, everybody knew he was fast, but they didn't know he was that fast.
Okay, let's go to the chat room. First of all, we're going to go top to bottom, starting with Daniel Berry. Okay, you. All right. Yeah, that's you. All right. That's us. Good stuff. Okay. And then we'll go to Duncan Lozinski. Great interview Scott had with Andres. Yeah, that was a fun. Restrepo was really fantastic. Sawgrass cleaning. What's going on? Well, what's going on is inside the pigskin. There you go. And Blake Lozinski, and inside the pigskin. That's what's going on. And Josh Burstein has a new name for Mel. So Mel Satinsky. I don't know where he comes up with it, but hey, you know what? Megan, Aussie 12, Joshua Bernstein. There you go. Look at this. Guys, I'm telling you, that chat room getting deeper and deeper. And there we go. We're just going to keep putting them up, and then I'll go ahead. And yes, we are seeing these messages, Joshua, and obviously that's why I can read them, that we are seeing these messages. So, all right, well, with that said, any of those stand out to any? I don't know, but Jeremy, okay, what do you see as the value of the pro days?
The pro days are not only for evaluation. We already had that with the combine, but it's for the people that kind of missed it a little bit, because there's guys that show better film on tape than they do at the combine, and they have a chance to get a redo at the pro day to redo all of that, including the drills. And after they're done, it's not only the interview the player has, it's the interview that the guys have with their teammates. As we've seen, that has hurt people's draft stock more than what they have said themselves.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we'll turn over to Travis.
I mean, yeah, I think both Mel and Jeremy kind of made great points. At the end of the day, the goal of the pro day is to improve upon anything that you may have done negatively at the combine, or if you weren't invited to the combine, maybe to put yourself on those radars that you may not otherwise have been able to be on. We've seen it so many different past drafts in the past where there's a superstar on a team. Everyone and all the teams and all the media are all there because of this one guy, and there's just someone else that's just popping. That's just, oh man, who is this? Who is this speedy guy? Who is that guy? Who is this? And all of a sudden, that one great guy who's there, who just happens to be working out with his teammate, or whatever, maybe helping him out, or maybe preparing for his season also. That undrafted free agent, that 4th round, 5th round, 6th round draft pick who didn't get invited to the combine, and all of a sudden is raising his draft status, being catapulted by that that other big time player that may be there. So there's a lot of good reasons for the pro days. In lieu of going to the combine, maybe a player may have been injured earlier in the off season, has a little bit more time to recover, things of that nature. So, pro days are great in all those ways, and more importantly, for the guys throwing and playing pitch and catch, you get to pitch and catch with your guys. So you should be looking significantly better than you were looking at the combine. So from all those ways, you should be more comfortable.
Okay, what about you, Bo?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing there is, if you're one of the guys that didn't make it to the combine, this is your chance to get in front of some of those scouts that otherwise may have missed you. Obviously, if you're a top guy that was at the combine, it may not be a benefit, especially if you showed out well at the combine. You definitely don't really want to do a pro day.
Right.
Only thing you can do there is hurt what you've already shown. But if you're one of those fringe players that is a third day type of player, this is how you make sure you don't go as an undrafted free agent.
Okay, very good. Okay, we'll turn it over to Coach.
Well, a lot of good points there. I mean, I think the overriding thing is that you're hearing, and it's very true, is guys can either guys are looking to make a strategic decision to boost their draft status, right? So some guys don't choose not to work out at the combine for whatever reason, or they may do the position drills, or they may not run the 40, giving themselves more time to prepare. Maybe, there's a lot of reasons for that. Typically, you don't see a top flight prospect run at both. If the guy runs at the combine and he records a good time, he's probably not going to do the testing portion at the at the pro day. I think to Jeremy's point, there's a lot there that scouts and coaches are looking at when they're watching a player in terms of how does this guy interact in his environment where he's comfortable. The all-star games, the combine are very strict, they're very sterile environments. I always wanted to see how a player interacted with his teammates, his coaches, and that sort of thing. And then the other thing is the pro days typically is an opportunity for position coaches to work the player out themselves. Not every drill, that they do at the combine, that's pretty much a set formula. It's the same year in, year out, and it's done that way intentionally so that you can compare players from one year to the next. But there's O-line coaches, D-line coaches, they're going to have their own battery of drills and things that they're going to ask the player to do. And then, there's the interview portion of it where you're not just talking to the player, but you're talking to the trainer, you're talking to the the strength coach, his position coach, just trying to get all the background, what makes this guy tick, how coachable is he? Is he, does he conform, or is it, willingly, or is it, there's a lot of information that can be gleaned in those in-person meetings. So it's very valuable from all aspects, not just the workout itself.
All right, let me go back in time a little bit. I remember covering the Miami Hurricanes in the early 80s. Jim Kelly suffered a shoulder injury, and as a result, he wasn't able to go to the other events, playing the All-Star games. But he used his pro day. How did it work out? He was a first-round draft choice for the Buffalo Bills. And, of course, he ended up playing for Houston as well. So, all right, let's go to the chat room real quick. Billy, I'm glad you're back on. You're definitely a very important part of this show today. And I guarantee you'll be worth your while. So, all right, Joshua Bernstein, what does it take to get an invite to the combine? He said that's a question for Bo. Do you have any? So go ahead, Bo.
So I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get invited to the combine. I wouldn't be a good one there. That'd be one for Mel, I think. I played arena, but I didn't get an NFL invite.
So then we'll defer that question over to Mel. Go ahead, Mel.
I had no idea. You'd have to ask Coach. he probably know better than me.
Well, I like
There we go.
Well, there's two what I would say scouting services that the NFL uses. One of them is Bledsoe, and the other one's National, and that's why the combine's called the National Invitational Combine. It's actually run by that scouting service, which it's a service that all 32 teams subscribe to. They pay for that service. Those scouts that work, some of them may be assigned to specific teams, but those scouts that work for National, they comb the country and they do a lot of the initial legwork. They're many times the first ones to see the prospects when they're very young. They track them, they track all their measurables, and really they have a committee and obviously they work with the GMs and the NFL teams, but they put together that list in terms of who should be invited to the combine. That's in the simplest way, without going into great detail, that's pretty much how it happens.
Very good. All right, let's go back to the chat room. Snowman Multimedia is up there. Hey, Snowman checking in from Indiana. Good. We're getting views all over the country. After all, this is a national. What's going on, Snowman? Oh, you guys go ahead and have that exchange in the chat room. Blake Lozinski, love this guy. I talked to Josh and Blake and Duncan a lot during the weekend. We got some good plans for them in the future. TJ Turner, too, had the best combine appearance. So anybody want to comment on that? He says, Joshua wants to know from you, Coach, what team do you coach?
I don't coach anyone right now.
I got a great answer for that. Where hasn't he coached? He's coached for 5 different colleges and 9 different NFL teams.
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
your
well,
answer.
Blake Lozinski, what are your thoughts? And Joshua, I am seeing the chat, my friend. Mark my word. That's why I'm reading all the comments for that reason. But you're doing a great job, Josh. Okay. I better be able to see. Otherwise, I need to get back to the eye doctor right away. I don't need that. So that's past that.
There's one of my fans. She's from Australia.
Nice.
Passing the buck on to the question, gents. Look at this. See, we're getting them everywhere, guys. That's all right. So I love it. Keep them coming. This chat room is getting busier by the day, and we're very delighted that we're seeing a lot of that. Checking in from down under. Coach is a legend. There you go, Josh. He certainly is. And Coach and I have a lot of other future plans that we're working on, right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
At a later date. All right, so with that said, all right, well, you know what, Coach, I'll let you ask this one here. What is your best story as a coach that you can tell real quick?
Oh, man. Man, that's we need to just devote a whole show to that. Let's I don't know if we have enough time, Josh, and I apologize, but I'd have to think about that one, and it probably I just waste too much time. But I'd love to talk about it sometime.
Well, you know what, Josh? Here's what we can do. Okay, we'll go ahead and hold on to that question next week. We'll probably lead off with it on Inside the Pigskin, and we'll address it right away so we have more time. But that's a great question, Josh. That's for sure. And yes, Josh, yeah, I am seeing the chat. Like to kid around with this guy. I like this guy, yeah, and I know him very well. All right. All right, now, Megan, I have to duck out. Gents, thanks for having me. We'll see you the next one. I'm glad we're going down under. Coach Bono, we got Maine there. Look at that. Look at this stuff. All right, so with that said, Billy, I know you've been waiting patiently on this. Do you see the value of the pro days? And for that matter, did you participate in one?
Yes, sir. I did participate in my pro day. I think it's very valuable for anybody that's really declaring to go to their pro day and really perform. Not only that, take those drills serious. And what I mean by serious is like enjoy doing the drills, like enjoy the reason you playing football. You get an opportunity to shine in front of coaches at the next level. Show them what value you gonna bring to their team. Don't hold nothing back. Don't try to fit the little prototype. Bring your stuff to the game. And that's honestly it with the pro. And as far as that goes with the pro days, like in between those drills, like what Coach said earlier, like they do watch everything, y'all. They watch how you communicate with everybody. Like it goes to show because they're willing to put the future in your hands, and you got to show up and really understand what you're getting your hands into as far as this is what you want to do. So with those pro days, everything that was said from everybody was absolutely on the money. And I totally agree with everybody, but as on my end, I know for sure that you definitely have to take those days serious and make the most out of those opportunities.
All right, what I'm going to do now is devote this segment here to my crew. And what we're going to do here is, before I do that, okay, I'm going to let everybody know that Inside the Pigskin is being broadcast around the world. The audio version of Inside the Pigskin can be heard on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcasts. Please hit the red subscribe button on YouTube, South Florida Tribune. We're striving for more subscribers. Please also comment, like, and share the broadcast. Want to be a guest? I see a bunch of potential ones in here, that's for sure. Participate in the chat room or send your topic ideas to southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you want to advertise cost efficiently, give me a call at 954-304-4941. We broadcast live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. All right, so this is where we actually go ahead. And look at this. Blake Lozinski. All right, I'm impressed. Katie, get that one up. You got some good ones there. Now this guy's doing a background thing on Coach Bono. Look at that, Mike. Blake, you are in the eyes of. Look at that.
Got the Wikipedia page going.
Oh, look at this guy, Blake. He's going to be a natural.
Blake's on it.
Blake
also asked me a question earlier.
Yeah, wait till we get this group here that's in the chat room on. These guys are great in the chat room, and I expect them under working with all of us at some point to even be better on the air. So I hope you got the Blake and Duncan.
It's Scott. I put all my stops in the chat. I just I put everywhere I've been. Yeah, there they are.
Oh, there you go.
There
Oh,
we
okay,
go.
good. Well, so now they know a little bit more. All right, so you're waiting on. All right, Blake, waiting for Smoking and JD to answer. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Okay, Billy, everybody's gonna have a chance to ask you a few questions. Okay, and we're gonna start off with Bo.
All right. So I didn't see what arena league are you playing in?
Is he there?
Billy.
I think he's froze.
Oh, I think he froze.
Sorry, I'll be
Oh,
back.
he's
there
trying me. There he is.
All right, Billy.
All right.
All right. Why don't you ask that question again, Bo?
Yeah. So I couldn't see exactly which arena league are you playing in?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you, man.
He's T-Mobiling. Oh man, that's
Okay.
mean.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right,
There
go
we
ahead.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. I'm back. I'm sorry about that. A little technical difficulty.
Ah,
Which
no worries.
arena league?
Yeah.
Which arena league were you
are
in?
you in?
I finished playing in the CIF. Right now, I'm currently a free agent. I'm a free agent. So I was playing in the IFL, and unfortunately, just before camp, a lot of stuff happened. And on my end, right now, I'm a free agent. But I do have some teams hitting me up and everything as well. So I look forward to being on the field soon, for sure.
Did you take a look at the upstart of the AFL since that they're starting to have people report on the 1st, I believe?
Yes, sir. The last team I played for, the Southwest Kansas Storm, had moved up to the AFL, and that's definitely like a great lead. I feel like it's going to open up more doors for everybody in the football world as far as it goes for spring, due to the UFL like shortening down the XFL teams and all that. And I just feel like it's as far as it goes for indoor football and guys like me that coming up and really just want to keep balling and have that opportunity, it's definitely opening up doors. So.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like the USFL and the XFL didn't really do the players any favors by axing half the teams when they came together. It took a lot of opportunity away. It also kind of weird because it became a regional sport, so that's kind of disappointing, especially as far as helping athletes continue their careers.
What, you have another question? Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, I totally agree on that because I personally was a big fan of the XFL, USFL, both of them. And when they combined, I really thought like they were going to just split it up into good 4 divisions, but things happen. But, as far as it goes right now, I'm really looking forward to the AFL, looking forward to the indoor, the spring, the UFL itself, just spring football in general, because it's really become a big thing having year-round football, and I really love it now. It's a blessing. So.
All right, back to the chat room real quick. Blake Lozinski said he hopes you land with the Miami Dolphins. So, and I'll answer his question there, Blake. He's a running back, unless you are more than a running back, right?
Yes, sir. Definitely appreciate that, Mr. Blake. If I get that call, I'm definitely gonna show up and do my part. Like that's definitely a big thing for me to hit the lead for sure and make my mark. And I look forward to really just keep going along this journey. So thank you for that.
Any other questions, Bo? Or are you good?
No, good.
All right. Well, with that said, we'll turn it over to Travis.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask Billy if he could just do me the courtesy of just pretend this is an interview. Who are you? Give me your history. Like, just help me put together who you are, and also for the rest of the listeners. I think that would be beneficial.
Okay. Well, I'm Billy Regans Jr. First off, I'm really a very nice, common dude. I really love the fact that I get to play football. I love the fact that I'm playing running back and being bigger than the stereo prototype that's out there. Not only that, what I bring to the game as far as it goes, I love the passion. Like I love the passion of the game. I love being able to be that guy. I want to be that guy. I like the pressure on me. I don't want to run from anything. If it's 3rd and 2 and you trying to pass the ball, I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to go and get 5 or 6. I'm trying to keep the chains moving. Definitely a team player. I block like an O lineman. I love O lineman. As far as it goes, from what I learned as being a running back, if you get cool with your O lineman, the hand techniques and everything definitely come in handy. So, as far as that goes, I'm currently a free agent, just coming off a rookie season of indoor football from the CI with the Southwest Kansas Storm. It was great.
Uh-oh.
You muted yourself.
I think it's a connection issue.
Yeah,
No,
it
I think
has-
when he touched his
Can't
buddy,
hear you at all,
muted
Billy.
When he
himself.
touched his ear, it muted him.
Yeah, when he touched his buddy, he muted himself.
Oh, I went in and out.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, he's back. Go ahead, Billy.
What I was saying was, as far as it goes indoor, I was leaving my impact and really just putting my film out there. I know if you ball, they'll come get you.
Okay, very good. Travis, anything else?
No, that's awesome. So in the meantime, so now that you're a free agent and you're just trying to look at and figure out what the next avenue is going to be, what is your days look? What feels your days right now? What do your days look like? Is it just all training? You know, can you give me like that sort of rundown?
Yes, sir. Currently, my days consist of like training. I recently ran a 4.46 laser 40, little personal best. As far as it goes right now, being a free agent, it's really like bettering myself. Like I know at the end of the day, the plan is to definitely get a call. And anytime I got to be ready. And right now, I'm another 10 pounds slimmer than what I was on film, and I feel great, feel ready to go, feel ready to explode. I really just want to continue to show that I definitely can ball. I can ball with anybody. I'm definitely an athlete, and I just want to bring my passion, my impact on the game, and really just show that, you know, like at the end of the day, you really got to love this stuff. If you love the game, it's gonna love you back. So
Okay,
I
let's go back to
appreciate
the chat room. First of all, Blake Lozinski, a compliment towards you. Travis, excellent question, Travis. So, and now you ready to go? You ready to vote for be a president? Because evidently you got one there, Travis. Okay, of course, Candy getting Mobile, T-Mobile. I'm not mentioning that. But how much you rep? But that's a good question. How much you bench press?
as far as repping right now, I'm repping 275 12 times. My max for sure is 350, and it's not hard. I ain't gonna lie. Like you got to be consistent. That's all I can say. As far as those goes and my numbers, it's just being consistent. I show up every day. I'm gonna work. I want to be the best. 1%. That's literally it. Like if you literally get better every day, 1%. Go as far as you can and push yourself. Yeah, that's the reason my numbers are high. Because telling that for a running back, people look at me crazy. But 350, definitely clean max. Like just go ahead and knock it out. Clean reps for sure. My highest for sure, I went up to 385, and that right there was a little challenge, but I'm gonna get to it.
And well, there you go. Josh says the phone will ring. Billy, I can feel it. Okay. Blake, that's obviously a fan of yours. Duncan Lozinski. And then we'll go back to Travis, see if he has any more questions. Duncan, says your opportunity. Well, you got a lot of fans out here, Billy. Aren't you glad you came on here tonight? You got a bigger support system
Yes,
than you
sir.
realize. All right, Travis. Any other questions?
I am good. I appreciate you being patient with me. Thank you. In your corner,
All
Billy.
right, that'll turn us over to Jeremy.
All right. So, Billy, you said you're bigger than the average running back. What is your size? What is your height? What is your weight? You already said your max is about 350, and you do 12 reps at 275, but at 225
Yes,
is
sir.
what they do. So, at 225, what was your max at your pro day? Because I know they make you guys do that too.
I did 26 reps. So 26
Solid.
reps on my pro day. Solid. I ain't gonna lie, like I'm 6'2". I was 230 at the time. Now I'm definitely I rated myself. I'm 219, and literally 3 days ago got a little update. When I ran my laser 40, I clocked in a 4.46. And as far as it goes right now, like me being a bigger back than most of these 5'9", 5'10", 5'11" guys, I really want to show the versatility of my playing style. As far as I can run and catch. I can do everything, but I block. I really block. Like I want to be on the field to
Cool.
where you just can't remove me. Like I want to be that guy to where I can just show up and show like, hey, I don't need the ball in my hands. I'm gonna make a play. It's a team game. We're gonna win this game. So
As
that's what I want
as
to bring to
somebody
the
who
table.
played DB in high school, when you said you played safety, that's where that comes
Yes,
from. You
sir.
want to hit somebody still. Come on
Yes,
now.
sir. And
Don't lie.
I definitely miss playing
If
safety
you
as well.
right, because it's a different mentality. When you're on defense, you want to hit. Whereas as a running back, if you get hit wrong, it could mean the end of a career. So
Yeah.
it's that different mentality, correct?
Yes, sir. And also with
And that's probably
playing
how
running
you
back,
play.
you also. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say with playing running back, you
No,
use
I'm
that
listening.
for
I'm listening. I'm listening.
your hand. When you talk about the hand placement about blocking, because I paid attention to that part. That also comes into play with how you used your hands in tackling, because that helps you to defend tackles
Yes,
because
sir.
you know what works against that because you had it done to you, correct?
Yes, sir. And I ain't gonna lie, when them linemen climbing, hey, if your hands not right, I'm not gonna lie, it get ugly. It get ugly if your hands not right. That's all I'm gonna
Real
say.
quick.
The trenches is real. The trenches is real. I don't care I don't care how good you is. I don't care how strong you is. And them trenches is real. Them big boys gonna battle. That's all I can say. I'm gonna leave that alone because, like I said, them trenches is real. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me ask you real quick, Billy. Where are you currently residing at the moment?
Can you say that again, sir?
Yeah, where are you currently residing at the moment?
I'm currently in Colorado right now. I've been training up here. It's been great to me. Feel good. Really just like I say, working on them lines, keep on running. As far as me being a big back, most guys, oh, he's just gonna run through me. But no, I can run around you, I can run past you, and I run with the little people too. So it's just what I bring to the game, and I just want to keep working on it.
Okay, Blake Lozinski. All right, go ahead. We'll put that one up. Billy, have you ever considered being a fullback?
As far as being a fullback, no, I ain't gonna lie. I have played fullback when I was in little league, but I'm not no big like go ahead and clean you up all the time. Like I definitely want to be the guy with the ball, getting those tough yards. I want to take on your best defender. I want to bring back that real passion for the game. Like you really? I want to make a defender question why he's out there really doing this. And the thing is, people fail to realize we play a game of men. Like this is a tough game. This is a combat. You can get hurt. You can really get hurt, and you know this game requires a lot of physicality. And I feel like nowadays everything between us is just soft. It's just soft. I feel like
Okay,
it's
well,
soft.
actually,
Participation awards. I feel like nobody really willing to put on for their team. Nobody willing really to go out there and just be about the team. And I know there's a few guys in the league that I can definitely call out and look up to for sure. And as far as it goes as the whole game, the way it's going on, how just the little politics about every player feeling like they a diva and stuff, like, man, they need to cut it out. Like we play football. Like I understand going where you want it. I understand, the money situation, but bring your value if that's the case. And I'm speaking as a running back because the running back market is one of the biggest things I've been paying attention to. And everybody feel like you can just take a regular running back and keep a regular team and you'll have a great passing game. But in these playoff games, we've watched the Chiefs who gladly will throw the ball on you 52 different times. Put in that run game and really shut down defenses due to the fact that they're so focused on just really trying to cover the pass and everything because it is a passing league now. And I just feel like that value of the running back still needs to be brought to attention. And some guys did make a change this year. Like definitely Christian McCaffrey stays at the top of the game. He's going to show up and ball out regardless. I'm really looking forward to as far as that goes, being a running back. The market is going to change, especially with this big move for Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. I definitely know like it's going to be some heads turn, and people are going to realize the value of a running back. And Josh Jacobs to the Packers. that's kind of dangerous.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll go back to the chat room real quick. All right. First of all, Billy, okay, that question that Blake asked was good because I always wonder about the fullback, so that was good. Yes, he obviously identifies you as Colorado. The Rocky Mountains are a great place to go. And now he's asking you, okay, have you ever been hitting the slopes?
As of right now, no, I haven't hit the slopes, but I definitely plan on it. I plan on it for sure.
There you go, Blake. All right, who do you look up to in the NFL? Another great question by Blake. This guy's on a roll.
Man, who do I look up to in the NFL? As far as growing up, looking up, I really was a big fan of Adrian Peterson. That him really like being the team. Like I ain't gonna lie, there were some moments like there's multiple videos I looked up to AP because he was that big back. He was that guy. Like he wanted that pressure. It's 3rd and 12. You throwing a check down. He taking it for 60. I want to do that. That's AP when he recovered from his ACL in under 9 months and still came back and run that rushing title and stuff. And I believe it was 2011. And I'm not even a big like NFC fan like that, but like I'm definitely a Ravens fan. I grew up a AFC fan, but watching him alone and the way he handled the game, and as far as people wanting that bigger guy running the football, I definitely looked up to that.
All right, so
Definitely.
again,
And then oh, sorry.
no, that's okay. Finish your thought.
As far as that goes, it just goes on a trend to Earl Campbell, Sean Alexander, Eric Dickerson, and today's game, who I really apply that standard to is definitely Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is 6'5", 240, and he has that type on him to where like, yeah, he's a great value to the game, but using him wise, like the Titans definitely displayed like his first at least 4 or 5 years in his prime when he was definitely leading the lead, like killing it. They showed the real physicality and the versatility of a running back, like a real big running back. Them 2-3 yard runs are nothing on 4th down when you got somebody falling for 6 or 5. So,
Right.
and it played a part. And they also upset the Ravens because I remember that game. He pushed around Earl Thomas like he was nothing, man. And still haunt me to this day.
Okay, well, excellent answer. I want to go to Joshua Burstein's question, and we're going to go over to Coach and Mel, and then we should be all set there, okay, with you, Billy. All right, we'll just go ahead and, these are the two I wanted to make sure you're involved in. So, and then we'll bring you back on April 17th. How does that sound? So, with that said, what's the best advice you can give to those listening who aspire to play pro football? Joshua Burstein.
As far as it goes on that, and for those aspiring to play pro football, I personally want you to understand that you got to keep going. You got to show up for you. Like and football is not an easy game. I don't really feel like everybody understands. It takes a lot. You put your body into this. You put your mental into it. And for those that want to keep playing pro, you keep achieving that. You got to show up for yourself though. You got to show up for yourself. You got to take advantage of those opportunities. You have to understand that you, at the end of the day, will probably be the biggest threat you'll face before you step on that field. And until you realize that, you know what I'm saying, most of your goals may not really happen, but until you really discipline yourself and really understand the fact that you're doing something that nobody else can do and you need to wear it with pride as far as it goes is doing everything that we do. Like it takes away time. Like even as far as it goes from coaches and everything, they're putting their time into this. You should do the same and feel the same way. You should feel the same way that they're feeling when they ready to go in here and tell you what to do, lead you to victory while you doing it on the field and taking what you in and showing what you bring to the table. You got to be able to understand that discipline at the end of the day. Like that's something you love to do. You got to keep that passion. So if those are in my situation, if you a free agent, stay ready. Stay ready. The season happen fast. We all know this. If you played the game of football, you've been in those trenches. You know how it go. You know how a season go. Keep ready for your opportunity. So that's the only advice.
All right. We're going to turn over to Coach Bono. Anything you want to ask, Billy?
Yeah, Billy. This is coming, Scott. Billy, tell me what special teams you played on.
Special teams. Oh man, look, kickoff return. That sets the tone. That kickoff sets the tone. I'll go down there. I'm the first one to be the gunner. I want to go hit somebody. That kickoff, then kickoff return. I want to just shut the crowd up. I
See,
want to
there
take
we
it to
go.
the crib. It set the
Um,
tone. It just set the tone. Like everybody hyped. They like, oh yeah, let's go. We gonna go. Then you see that one person that's just he with it. And as far as it goes for me, I love kickoff return. Kickoff return is one of I call it the crowd silencer because everybody's at their highest emotion before that kickoff. But when they see somebody breaking, you hear that ooh from the crowd and it get loud. Yeah, I love
All
it
right,
every time.
let me go to Joshua Bernstein. Major props to Billy for coming on here and giving great answers to every question thrown at him. Josh has to hop off. Great show tonight. But Josh, you know what? Your questions are great as well. So thank you very much, Joshua. Obviously, you're going to be hearing more about Joshua Bernstein as time goes on, along with these other guys that have contributed. Okay. Just want to get that out there before he officially hops off. All right. Go ahead, Coach. Continue on.
Yeah, Billy, we were talking beforehand, with the UFL and everything, but would you consider going and playing over in Europe? I had the privilege last spring of going and visiting a team in Germany. I'm also consulting with a team in Italy. There's a lot more football over in Europe, American football, than people realize. They try to feature the European players, so the opportunities, each team is limited in terms of how many American players they can have on the rosters. But for versus waiting around, I mean, they're getting ready to start here in about a month and a half, 2 months. And my question is, if things don't work out with the with the spring league, would you consider something like that if that opportunity came your way?
Most definitely. I definitely love to go overseas and continue the game of football. Like it's still an opportunity to play for me and show that and bring the passion to the game that I love. And as far
Right.
as it goes, it's a good thing that, that opportunity to go overseas and really make football a worldwide sport is amazing because people love football. Like they love watching the Super Bowl. They love really what we do. I believe Tyreek Hill today went to the Paris Musketeers today and he was giving them a
Yep.
little taste from the NFL standpoint. Like it's different, but you willing to learn, you willing to understand the game. So yes, sir. If the opportunity definitely
Well,
arises,
let's
I'm all for it.
after the show, when we're off the air, let's exchange information. I might be able to help you with that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, then you know what? You're going to stay on the whole time, and then you can observe everything we're doing or participate a little bit as
Or
well.
Scott, do you have his cell information? You can just give that to me afterwards.
Yeah, I'll get you all his information,
Right.
Coach.
And Billy, I'll just reach out to you. Look for. I'll text you tonight as soon as we're done.
Yeah, I'll get Coach that
Yes, sir.
information for you. How's that, Billy? I told you you're going to make a lot of contacts. I want to bring this one comment up first, and Coach, you continue on. Okay, Billy, do you think, coming from Blake Lozinski, do you think Travis Homer is an upcoming running back?
Travis Homer, I actually been hearing a lot about him. I really want him to show his game. Like I believe he's versatile, but as that running back position, I think he has it on solid. He's gonna definitely grow. He's gonna show that he's gonna bring his style to the game. And as far as it goes for a running back, like I feel like every running back, you can't just put a label on most of them. Everybody's like really bringing their own juice to the game, and I'm really looking forward to watching him grow. Not only that, just get his opportunity. Because y'all been saying his name, and I've been looking it up as well. Like that's the name that actually popped up before, so he definitely deserves his opportunity.
Another great question by Blake. Okay, Coach, you have any more questions for?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks,
Bo,
Billy.
you gonna hang with us for a few more minutes because I want you to hear Mel what he has to say, or do you have to go now? Bo?
What's up? Oh, keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Okay. All right. Well, all right, Mel, it's your turn to ask Billy. I know you had a lot to say during pre, but now you can put it out there for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, Billy, like Coach, I have, like I told you, if there's an opportunity, and I don't know, because I know for my niece's boyfriend, he played at a school, and they had some injuries in the spring league. and he was able to come on down there and take the place for somebody who was injured. So, make sure I get your information. Like I said, I can pass that information on. And, like I said, I think Larry Lee is a general manager or something like that for the USFL. He played in the league for a long time, UCLA Bruin. Then he went to the Detroit Lions and Miami Dolphins, went to the Super Bowl with the Broncos. So he has a band now that he plays in. Back in the day band, he plays the bass. So he's like a big brother to me. So I would love to pass your information on to him. I was asking you, so I see you're from Sugar Land. I got
Yes,
my dad's from Beaumont, about 70 miles east of Houston. So I know you're in that Houston area. I think my cousin Jerry Ball lives out there in Sugar Land, and Andre Ware I think lives in Sugar Land. And I was asking you about Prairie View, and the reason why I was asking you, first let me go back. You had big numbers in high school, 1,600 yards your senior year. Then you committed to Tulsa. Well, no, you committed to Northern Colorado. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Also, I saw that. So when did you go to Prairie View?
I went to Prairie View literally after my first year at Northern Colorado. I had went home, and not only that, I had went to the camp, and I definitely made it for running back, but they had me playing safety and linebacker, and that was just me. Yeah, but being there with Coach Dooley and that whole coaching staff, Coach Ted White, who is now the quarterback coach for the UCLA Bruins, Coach
Right.
Bubba McDowell, he's the head coach there, and really embracing what they brought to the game, like their knowledge, like that coaching staff was a great coaching staff like that. That gave me that passion to really just know, like, what am I really doing? Like not only that, like I was already at the point to where I had the right people in my corner telling me what to do. They knew the steps, they knew how to grind, and being around in that atmosphere, you have no choice but to really just modify yourself to really being the best version that you can be, because they gonna push you and they not gonna run from it. And that's the thing we really, I feel like, as far as me upcoming in this younger generation, needs to be applied a little bit more. Like, you need to be able to have people in your corner to say, hey, like, you gotta grind. You gotta want this every day. It's gonna get ugly. And if it do get ugly, you gonna keep standing. Some days it ain't gonna be ugly, some days it is. But at the end of the day, you gotta show up and you gotta grind and you gotta keep going. And
so you went from Northern Colorado to Prairie View, and then you went from Prairie View to
Howard Payne, D3, and Brownwood, Texas.
So was Reggie Moore at Prairie View when you were there? Wide receiver coach?
Reggie Moore.
Wide receiver coach. He might be there. I know he's there now.
I feel like Coach Reggie probably was one of the assistants, because I remember the offensive coordinator was Coach Ted White at the time, and I was primarily more with defense, and Coach Frederick, the running backs coach.
So you wanted to play running back. You didn't want to play defense.
No, that wasn't the case. I just felt at the time, well, for me in general, like, I know if I get the ball in my hands, I'm going for 6, 7. Not only that, I'm really trying to take it to the crib. I know if I put the ball in my hands, I'm going to guarantee way more than any of these little backs. That's what I say. Because, like I say, my size, I literally was told I was too big to play running back. And I just never forget that. I'll never forget that. Not only that, the comparisons just made me want to better myself. Like, as far as it goes, yeah, I'm a big back. You think, oh, he's just finna run through me. No, you got to play me like everybody else. Not only that, if you don't come with it, I'm going to beat you. And I ain't afraid to tell nobody I'm going to show up. If you don't show up, that ain't got nothing to do with me. And that's the thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, the game's changed where, they don't carry as many running backs as they used to. Back when I was playing, they used to carry 5, 6 running backs. Now they might only carry 3. So the game's changed. So the numbers kind of work against you at that running back position, unfortunately. I'm going to just give you this advice. You're young right now. You have one opportunity at this. This is, you have one time to be the age that you are right now, and you have to take full advantage of it. And I was listening to Kobe Bryant. He was talking about his insane, people talk about his insane work ethic and what he does. He would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go work out, 4 to 6 to go home, eat breakfast, take a little nap, and to get back at it. I think he said from 9 to 11, rest, go back out again from 3 to 5, go home, rest, and finish up from 7 to 9 and repeat it. He said the normal person's only getting 2 workouts in a day. He's getting 4 workouts in a day. You've got to be willing to do whatever. You're going to get one opportunity. When your opportunity comes, you're going to get one chance, and that's it. And you have to be prepared. You have to know what it is that you're doing as far as your assignment, whether it's a blocking, whether it's running the football, making sure you hit the right hole, whether it's running a route, make sure you run the right route. You better finish up and catch the football. You don't catch the football, it's done. It's over. It's over with for you. So my thing is, you're saying saying you're ready and being ready are two different things, and you have to be mentally in a space where you're always prepared. Do you have an agent right now?
Yes, sir. I do have an agent.
You got somebody working on your behalf, talking to folks?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's good. My last question is, you're working out right now. How old are you right now? How old are you?
Can you say that again, Coach?
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. You got your degree?
Yes, sir. I got my bachelor's degree in marketing and I got a minor in psychology.
Okay. So at some point in time, we all have to do it, and I had to do it at the ripe old age of 25 years old. I had to make a decision. I had a wife and 2 kids, and I had a young kid. I had played in the inaugural year of the World Football League, and I came back home. My son was a few months old when I left, and when I came back, he might have been 6-8 months old, looked entirely different, and didn't want to come to me, and that broke my heart. And I made a promise to him I'd never leave him again. I'll never leave him again for that period of time. And so at 25 years old, man, I had to make a decision. I had to go out there and get a JLB like, 95, 99% of the population has to. What are you prepared to do after football? What does your life look like without football? Have you prepared for that?
Yes, sir. I definitely have. Not only with my football, I do marketing on the side as well, and I do have a clothing brand as well. My clothing brand is actually taken off, and I do also market for this company called Sweatless, where we do mouthpieces, we do towels, wristbands, and we pushing a lot right now, and you'll definitely be hearing about all that as well this upcoming summer with the flag football and all that as well. And I really can't wait to really just have something that I bring to the game that I love outside of football, where it makes it not only safer, but just having my real impact on the game besides what I'm doing on the field.
My last question is, we've heard what you do well. I don't say people have weaknesses. I think you just have areas that you need to spend a little bit more time on and pay a little bit more attention to. What are some of those areas for you?
My area, it's honestly, I'd say for me, as far as this point right now, just really show my value. Like actually prove and keep proving that I know what I bring to the table. Not only that, I'm a great benefit to anybody's table. I'm able to really just add. I'm not here to subtract. I'm not here to lower. I'm here to really just get better, grow those around me, really show the love that showed to me. Like the people that took a chance on me gonna get all of me every time. Every time.
All right, that's all I got for you. I wish you the best of luck, and like I said, I'll get your information from Scott. Now, try to put you in contact with the right folks and see if we can make something.
All right, let's go to the chat room. It's been real busy. Thanks for hanging in there with me, Blake. Okay, I know that. Coach, please send this guy's info. Okay, I'll make sure that everybody goes ahead and has Billy's information. Don't worry about that. So let's go to the chat room. Okay, well, first of all, okay, let's start off with Billy off to Italy, Candy. All right, because we've got a lot of them. All right, well, Billy off to Italy. Okay, you're going to get fed well out there. So if you end up there, get ready for a lot of pasta. Never been there. I'd like to go there one time. All right, keep going. Josh knew the phone. It's all coming from Blake Lozinski. Josh knew the phone would ring. Billy, here it is. Coach Bono after bringing him on after the show. There you go. Aren't you glad you came on, Billy? Look at this guy. Two phones ringing for Billy. All right, Blake, I love your energy. You do a better job with chats than the auto industry does producing cars. All right, that's and
Thank you, Blake.
LFP. I don't know that one, but I'm not really big on those.
Here, I'll help you there, boss. It's let's friggin' go.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got a great supporting guest around here that lifts me up when I don't know all this new stuff. All right, Blake, once again, Billy's ready. I can see it. You know what? I can't do it.
And of course, that was the politically correct version, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Right. That was the PG version.
That's right. It's not quite that late of a show.
And for those that are really looking to find Billy, he is on LinkedIn, by the way. So, Billy Regans Jr. is on LinkedIn. And after this show tonight, Billy, I know that you're probably glad you made this appearance and you were able to work through the technical problems to be able to get this, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Because I definitely appreciate the opportunity to first off really hear the knowledge that y'all all bring,
Right.
and not only hearing y'all opinions and really just hearing y'all out. Like y'all really know the ins and outs, and it's great to really just understand and know that there's definitely coaches, definitely great guys like you out there providing this platform in order for just in case there's a guy like me that isn't even in his shoes that is watching, and being able to understand his next steps or possibly take something from y'all and what y'all bring to the game and learn it, use it, and go farther in life. And I just want to appreciate y'all for sharing all the knowledge and everything. And then first off, just being here with you guys. So thank you all.
Well, just so everybody know that Billy will be coming on the Motor City Mad Mouth show on April 17th. So a week before the draft, we'll find out where he's at. So for those of you in the chat that obviously are looking to see Billy again, you will. And Billy, the only promise he's going to give us is when he does land a gig, that he better be ready to come on our broadcast. That's all I can say, right? Billy? I think you can tell that we don't mess around with this group. I've always said that Inside the Pigskin is one of the best shows we have on the network because we have so many different types of backgrounds here between Bo and his vast knowledge. Travis brings a lot as well. And Jeremy, to me, is a knowledgeable individual. You have a former player and a coach, so we try to bring it to you from a lot of different perspectives. And that's why I'm so confident that anybody that comes on all of our shows, for that matter, will definitely get their money's worth. And now we have a dynamite chat room led by the Lozinskis, Blake Duncan. We got Joshua Bernstein on there, Jesse Stauber when he comes on here as well. And these guys are going to be in the mix for future shows as well. So I want to make sure that we're out there making sure we do provide a platform so anybody can benefit and grow their brand. So, Billy, it's your choice if you want to continue on. I know Bo probably has to hop off in a moment, right?
I do, yeah.
So before you go then, Bo, why don't you let everybody know how they can get a hold of you, all right?
Yeah, so obviously you can
Yes,
find me
sir.
here on Tuesday nights and on my YouTube channel at Football-Talk. And, of course, you can find me on Roku TV 5 days a week.
Yeah, we love having Bo on Tuesdays. And, of course, I did a Motor City Mad Mouth show with Bo, and he was, as usual, outstanding. So, Bo, I appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit longer and getting to know Billy and what we have out there. I have a feeling that Billy will be a good guest for you anyways as you lead up to the draft. But you can find him on LinkedIn. And, Jeremy, you're building your LinkedIn stuff up as well. So you can find him there, which you already did. Coach Bono, Mel, everybody is on LinkedIn here. So it just shows to show you how powerful LinkedIn is into a professional site. So, all right, Bo, thanks for being on with us. We'll see you next Tuesday night. All right, Bo?
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night,
Later,
Bo.
Bo.
All right, with that said, okay, you know what, Billy, you're free to stay on a little bit longer if you want. We only have 2 more topics left. You want to do it?
Oh, yes, sir. I actually really was going to go get a workout in because Coach brought up one of my idols. And it is my core day, and I'm not going to run from this core. I'm not going to lie to you.
Don't miss
I
core
can't run
day.
from it. I
All
can't
right.
run from it.
Don't
Handle
miss
your business,
Saturday.
young man.
Yeah, I appreciate you being on, Billy.
Yeah. All right. Well, Billy, you know what? I'll be in touch with you. We're glad you joined us tonight. And obviously, I enjoy taking lip reading classes when I have to. Okay. But
Yeah, we can't hear you again, Billy.
He lost his
now
earpiece.
Lost his
Oh,
earpiece,
that's
didn't
okay.
he? Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, he was outstanding. I'm glad we were able to get him on. All right. 2 more topics I want to get to, and we'll go with the 4 of us to run, the 5 of us to round it up. All right. All right, you know what? We'll go with Travis's next. Okay, according to Dante Koplowitz Fleming, from 2021 to 2022, there were 19 quarterbacks selected in the NFL draft. Only 2 of those 19 are expected to start in week 1. And Trevor Lawrence, obviously the first pick in 2021, and Brock Purdy, the last pick in 2022. So what does this say about having this many quarterbacks and you only have 2 of them that are going to be starters? You know what? We're going to start it with the guy that actually introduced the topic. Go ahead, Travis.
Okay.
I mean, it means PU. That 2022 draft class was rough. That's the first place we'll start. I mean, we know the Trevor Lawrence 2021 class at least had it had promise. I'll give it that. You know, the whole Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, like these guys had promise, but that 2022 class was a whole different thing. That was the one that I'm like, oh my gosh, like some of these guys aren't even in the league right now. You know, you got Matt Corral, he's in the UFL. You got Malik Willis, Desmond Ritter, Kenny Pickett. Like Sam Howell might be the best guy out of that bunch.
And he is.
And I think now I don't think it's even close, really. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, that's it's just a rough class when you're looking at it, you know, taking a step back. But I think recently we can say that the quarterback play has been that it's been easier to find, I guess, an average quarterback because of the spread offense into the NFL. So a lot of but as that happens, you're starting to get these younger quarterbacks who may not necessarily have all the tools you'd want them to have coming into the league. So there's some good and some bad. Like you might be able to find a better average quarterback, but you also might have problems finding that developed prospect that you're truly looking for.
Okay, very good. All right, you know what, Jeremy? Pick it up. What do you think?
Well, I said in 2021 in that draft that Mac Jones was the most pro-ready quarterback that year. And he was. He took his team to the playoffs. He had a very good rookie season. Granted, it wasn't like rookie of the year worthy. It wasn't any of that. It was just a solid middle of the road quarterback season. And I said the rest of them were going to struggle. But I also said he's at his ceiling because he did transfer into Alabama and he used all 5 years of eligibility to get to the NFL. And with him being fully developed already when the time he got there, I said every year his ceiling's going to shrink while his floor raises like the Willy Wonka hallway going in. And it did. Because as you notice, they gave him a bum of a coach for his offensive coordinator his second year, and it ruined him. He couldn't have that happen. That was the worst thing that could have happened, is having Joe Judge and Matt Patricia be his offensive minds that year.
Right. Good point. All right, let's go to the chat room before I turn it over to Coach. All right, Ralph Williams. Okay, well, there you go. Sam Howell was the best of that group, so good. I enjoy that. All right, let's turn it over to Coach.
First of all, I don't know that this is something that's really uncommon, and when I look at it, I just jotted down a couple notes. First of all, it's hard to play quarterback in the NFL. It's hard, right? The NFL is a different game than college football. The amount of information that a quarterback's got to be able to process pre-snap, post-snap, the amount that he's got to be able to communicate to his teammates, it's a very, very different game than the college game. That's why, in college football, they're looking over the sideline and the coaches are telling them what to check to, and then they're coming back and snapping the ball and going. And, the other thing is your success is very, very, very much dependent on other people and circumstances and situations, be it coaches, the roster, there really isn't time or money to develop a quarterback now. I mean, if people are spending a high draft pick, they're not going to want to sit this guy very long. At some point, he's going to get pushed into action, and they're all going to want to play and be, they all feel like they're ready to play. But, the best thing that happened to Aaron Rodgers was he sat behind Brett Favre for all those years, so it's just hard, it's hard. So it's not surprising to me. I think, I think there's no sure thing when you're drafting a quarterback. There's really no sure thing when you're drafting any position. You look at down through the history of the league, you can name a ton of guys that were first overall pick that were busts, or first round picks that never made it, and that sort of thing. I mean, look, Brock Purdy didn't have all the measurables, but could do it between the ears, and really was in a position where anything he did was going to be a bonus. There was no expectations on him whatsoever. He was the last pick of the draft, and so he really, for everybody involved, when he was forced into action because of injuries, it was a hey, whatever we get's going to be great. And then all of a sudden, wow, we lucked out, and again, circumstances. You got a great running game. He's you could say he's a system guy, but he's learned that system. But really good offensive minded head coach, doesn't put him in a lot of tough situations, and they got a great surrounding cast around him. So, I contrast that with Trevor Lawrence, and I know we're off air, certain people, I won't say who, we're kind of tough on him. I think that kid's really good. There's always a backstory. He was hurt this year. He didn't have the luxury of practice. He was rolling out there on Sunday with, towards the end of the season with no practice, or maybe a Friday walkthrough. And not many players are good enough to do that, in the league. I mean, practice is very, very important, especially for the quarterback. And, I think if he stays healthy, I think, I still think he's a good quarterback. And I know people will disagree with me, but I like the kid a lot. I think he's a winner. And I'll leave it at that. I'll wrap it up there.
Excellent points. You're going to wrap it up. You're doing a good way. All right, let's go to RJX, okay? Here's a Red Wings guy, okay? Hey, JB, massive win for the Red Wings. Let's go Red Wings. Red Wings, by the way, do defeat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-3 in overtime. So a big boost for the Red Wings as they try to get into the wild card position. All right, back to the comments again. Blake Lozinski, I think, okay? Trevor will be in the Super Bowl. Well, I'll tell you what, I like him. Next year we'll see. It'll depend on injuries and a lot of luck in the NFL. But again, Blake, I wouldn't bet against them. I mean, all Trevor Lawrence did was win a national championship at Clemson under Dabo Swinney. So the guy's a winner in every sense of the word. So I wouldn't bet. I would agree with you a lot more, Blake, but a lot of things have to work out to his benefit to do that. All right, we'll wrap up this segment with Mel Farr Jr.
Yeah, I think, teams don't have patience anymore, and a lot of teams are reaching for these quarterbacks. A guy that should be, let's say Kenny Pickett. He was probably a second round pick, and the Steelers reached because they needed a quarterback, and they drafted him in the first round. You look at that draft, there's a lot of talented players in that draft you're talking about. Just teams haven't had patience. I can't say that the kid from USC is going to fare much better in Chicago than
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I can't say than Justin did. What's changed? I mean, the management hasn't changed, the coach hasn't changed. So why do you? And you look at what he did at USC his senior year. I mean, they didn't. I mean, they won some football games, but they weren't competing for a national championship. So is he going to be that force multiplier? Is he that difference maker? I don't know. We'll have to find out. we will see. But the biggest thing is they just don't have patience anymore with these guys. When they draft a guy in the first round, and you have to make a decision on that option year, that 5th-year option on that rookie contract. Guys are bailing out on these players, and they figure that, hey, we'll just start all over. We'll reset the clock, and we'll start all over, and then we can build around him. Well, man, the Chicago just did that, 3 years ago. And, what did they do? And they had some draft picks because of some because of the trade they made with Carolina. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the biggest difference. Is the reason why these guys are flaming out is they don't have patience. A lot of these guys can play. I still believe Mac Jones can play. He's just in a bad situation. You got to get lucky. You got to get in the right situation as well. I don't think Justin Fields was in the right situation.
It is kind of tough, though. It is tough when it's mirrored up against that 2020 draft.
Hold on one second, Travis. I just want to say to Blake, thank you very much for being on tonight. We appreciate the kind words. So just want to make sure we got that in. I didn't know if he was completely logged off yet. But I want to make sure we acknowledge him there as well. Okay, Travis, continue on.
Oh, nothing. I was just saying, like, it is a tough situation when it's mirrored against the 2020 draft, because that 2020 draft had a lot of starting quarterbacks come out of that group. The Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Tua, Joe Burrow. Like, that's one class.
They're doing good.
Right, they're doing good. So I think that's the biggest piece, is that you're not seeing those immediate returns from these last two drafts. That's because the 2019 draft sucked. Stunk. Sorry, it's being honest.
You're right.
The 2019 draft was a rough one. So I think that's probably the problem, is that you're just mirroring it against that 2020 draft, which was just so good.
Who's the headliner of the 2019 draft?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, I guess. After that,
Kyler Murray, Gardner Minshew,
Daniel Jones,
Jeff Okudah.
Right.
He's a DB, isn't he?
Oh, I was naming quarterbacks.
I'm just saying they were at the top. They were at the top.
Sorry, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew. Those are the three top quarterbacks. If you're talking quarterbacks specifically, Drew Lock. Dwayne.
Yeah. All right, let me just conclude the segment on this thought. Okay, number one, we all know Jamarcus Russell was an absolute bust. Number two, to me, Caleb Williams, USC regressed this year. They didn't win as many games. So to me, I don't know.
You can't say USC didn't have talent. That's the one thing. You can't say there wasn't talent there. They was devoid of talent. They had talent on the offensive side of the ball.
Didn't they lose all those games against ranked teams?
There's something there.
Well, you're making my point for me. Okay, thank you. Okay, they did have talent there. They just simply regressed. And I'll tell you the time when I covered Orange Bowl in Miami when USC took on Iowa. And you know what? Matt Castle was an undrafted free agent that made the club, and I talked to him on the field. So who obviously the starting quarterback, I don't remember who the starting quarterback was for USC. It's not material, but Matt Castle had a pretty good, solid career in the NFL, and subsequently went on to be a player rep. So
it was Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer. Matt Castle hadn't started the game since high school.
Right. So you find these guys anywhere, but it's a good topic. All right, last topic of the night, and Mel had a good segue to it. We're going to talk about the quarterback room in Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. All right, Mel, you know what? I'm going to let you start off with this. What are your thoughts about this quarterback room?
Yeah, man, I like it. I mean, when I saw Kenny Pickett got traded, I started to scratch my head. I said, okay, they got to bring in somebody to compete with Russell. I don't want to, because I know they're not going to turn the franchise over to a 35, getting ready to be a 36-year-old guy, and they only give him a one-year deal, and they're paying him the veterans minimum. I said that. No, that's not what they're about to do. I don't think they're in a position to draft a young quarterback. They were in a position to draft a young quarterback. So I said they got to bring somebody in there for some competition. I was hoping that Justin would go there in the first place earlier on during the free agency period. But the Steelers waited it out. I think that's a great pickup for them. He gets an opportunity to sit behind I think to a guy who's a pro, and I think for Russell Wilson, he gets to be pushed by somebody who is extremely athletically gifted. And all that's going to do by them competing against one another, all that's going to do is make each one of them better, and also it's going to make the Pittsburgh Steelers better. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. So I love the trade.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead over to Travis.
Yeah, I think I'm in full agreement. I mean, when you have such a small investment at such an expensive position, I don't think there's not a universe. There's not a metaverse that I can say that this is a bad deal. This is a bad trade. You now have the option, the capacity to do whatever you need to do in the draft. But they have a solid amount of draft picks, and they can fill that wide receiver or offensive line or D tackle holes that they have. Like they can do all those things with a solid bridge quarterback and a great, a good competition at minimum. I don't. Like, you may not say Russell Wilson's this top tier quarterback that he used to be, but he is a good, solid quarterback who is going to put you above 500 if you just put adequate players around him. And you have Justin Fields who can compete with him, and whichever one comes out of it, you're probably going to have a great ball control offense that can at least complete balls down the field, unlike what they showed last year. That's a great situation. Again, bridge quarterback, and they can keep filling out the rest of that squad in the meantime. And worst case scenario, they can get off that contract next year because of such a small investment. Great trade.
Great points. All right, Jeremy.
Well, the only thing I don't like about it is what Ryan Poles did. They say he's playing chess, but in all actuality, by him waiting the 3 weeks to make a trade with Fields, he cost them big draft capital because the original offer from Atlanta was the 8th pick, next year's 1st, next year's 3rd, and a 5th this year. They could have been set.
Are you serious?
No, they could have been. I'm dead serious. That was the offer from Atlanta before they heard Kirk Cousins was going to be a free agent. As soon as they heard Kirk Cousins was going to be a free agent, they pulled that deal off the shelf. So they cost themselves a franchise-changing draft over the next 2 years.
Were they waiting to see what else is going to happen?
Yeah, they thought they'd get a better offer from someone else. Pittsburgh even made a similar offer to begin with, but they heard Russell Wilson was being cut, and they said, "Oh, we're not trading now." So then they come back and they said, "Hey, let me give you a half-eaten snack-sized bag of chips, and if he plays 51% of the snaps, we'll give you a full-size bag of chips with the 4th-round pick."
Great analogy. I love that analogy. That is a good analogy. Yeah, that was good. All right, you know what? All right, Coach, go ahead and see if you can follow that one. That was good, Jeremy.
I can't follow that. I can't.
Bag of chips.
But honestly, there's nothing much more to say. I mean, I'm in accordance with everybody here. I think it's a great deal for the Steelers. Anxious to see what it looks like in the fall.
The only thing I hope for Justin Fields that Russell Wilson can do is give him the Braille version of how to read a defense, because he evidently can't do it with his eyes. I trust Stevie Wonder's driving more than Justin Fields' ability to read a defense.
Okay, I'll go with that. All right, the only thing I'll have to say about it is, number one, Sean Payton did not like Russell Wilson. Okay. Number two, Pete Carroll got good years out of Russell Wilson. And number three, Mike Tomlin is a very calming influence who believes in Russell Wilson. So when you put all of that together, Russell Wilson, all he has to do is sit here and play quarterback and not worry about the head coach breathing over his shoulder, looking to tear him apart in social media or wherever the heck he wants to do it. And coach, you can attest to this, when you have a coach that believes in you, life is a lot easier than one that doesn't. As for Justin Fields, you know what? Here's the thing. You're right. Now he has an opportunity to recharge the battery, carry a clipboard, and then be able to learn from a guy that's won a Super Bowl. And that situation in Chicago is just simply dysfunctional for him. He was in a thankless spot. He really was. But now Justin Fields, okay, goes to Pittsburgh. Once again, the Mike Tomlin effect. And by the way, Pittsburgh's not too far from Ohio State, if the geography is what it is. So, he'll have a chance to reset the clock. Maybe 1 or 2 years down the road, he gets an opportunity to play. But Justin Fields will be a much smarter quarterback when it's all said and done. So as far as the quarterback room is concerned, I really like it. I think I give the Pittsburgh Steelers a boatload of credit for going out there and making 2 bold moves in the offseason so they can use the draft to be able to bolster other positions. And looking forward to going to the draft in the not so distant future. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of good representation there as well. Well, I know we had a really longer show tonight, but I expected it because of the fact that Billy Reagans Jr. is a hidden gem. And I'm glad that everybody on this panel, including Bo, had an opportunity to talk to him. I'm hoping he'll be a future guest on some of your shows as well. So that's the thing. And of course, the Miami Hurricanes Pro Day, whether they're winning national championships or not, they're always going to draw a lot of attention around the area. So, But that said, I'm glad that we had a lot of good participation in the chat room. So as we wrap this show up tonight, Jeremy, why don't you let everybody know how they can get a hold of you?
All right. I was hoping for a parting shot, but no, it's okay.
Well, you know what? No, Jeremy, if you have a parting shot, go ahead. You can
No, because you talked about it, and I do, and it has to
doesn't
do
matter.
with
Go ahead.
it has
Take
to
it.
do also with the Steelers, because I actually watched
Okay.
a podcast yesterday morning before I did mine, and it had Coach Tomlin on there with a couple other guys, a couple other former coaches, and he literally said, "You want to know what I'm tired of hearing out of professional coaches' mouth is that guy doesn't fit my system." He goes, "Then that's a coaching issue, because you should be able to coach a guy to play in any system in the NFL. If you are a professional coach and you are doing your job to the best of your ability, you can make that player adapt to your system. If you're not doing that and you're just discarding players every few years, you're not a good coach and you don't need to be in the NFL."
I like it.
Mm.
Now you tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yes. Well, number one, right here inside the pigskin, fire up, whether it's Fire Up Michigan, Fire Up Wisconsin, or just plain Fire Up with Candy and Scott and myself on the South Florida Tribune channel, right here on YouTube, where you can watch us anywhere you are around the world, really, because it's on the internet. It's there, it's worldwide. You can also find my channel, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, where I do a daily talk show every morning with my co-host Dan Leonard at 11 a.m. And we also have our 3 primetime shows at 9 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can find my writings on the SouthFloridaTribune.com under the Motor City Tribune heading. And pretty soon you're probably going to be finding my face on Roku one night a week too. I'm everywhere. You can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. There's my name. It's out there. Smoking Jeremy B's the nickname. I got it as a podcaster. I'm keeping it as a podcaster.
Okay, well, you've come a long way. And also, don't forget that you're in my book as well, Lessons from the Microphone. So
This
there
one right
you go.
here.
Yeah, Jeremy worked his way into the book. In fact, everybody on this crew is in that book. So, but that said, we'll turn over to Travis Holmes. Go ahead, Travis.
You can find me on all the socials, Travis D. Holmes. You can find my writing covering the Jacksonville Jaguars on BigCatCountry.com. You can find me here every week inside the Pigskin and ever so often on the Sports Exchange, wherever you get your podcasts, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 8:30 and 9 o'clock.
I'll
You
be
can
the
also
logo.
you can also find me our Friday podcast at 11:30 a.m. wherever you get your podcast, the Duval Dive, a Jaguars podcast. And you can find my work with A7BN Sports covering the Jaguars as a game day analyst also. As always, gentlemen, thank you for having me. It's a great show.
Our pleasure. Thanks. Kind words. All right, Mel, you're up.
You can find me on all the social media at Mel Farr Jr., just like it says there. Says there, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and on April 24th of next month, the day before the draft, we're actually going to have a charity gala up in Michigan that's going to benefit the Mel Farr Superstar Foundation, which promotes the Georgia Showcase and the Michigan Showcase. If you're in the Detroit area, we'd love for you to come by. It's going to be at one mic. We're going to have a comedy show, a fashion show, and a charity gala, raising money for the kids here in Atlanta and also up there in Detroit.
Well done. All right, Coach, you're next.
Yeah, you can find me right here on most Tuesday nights, and then also on LinkedIn. That's the only social media I'm on. But appreciate you having me, and good show tonight, Scott. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. We always enjoy having you on. We really do. In fact, I enjoy having everybody on. Everybody brings something to the show, and I'm proud of each and every one of you. Please don't ever forget that Bo is a part of our family as well. And our family continues to grow. A few things I want to get to real quick. Our website's www.southfloridatribune.com, Twitter/X at Tribune South. And I have a book out there called Lessons from the Microphone. It's up there. Tuning into the enduring wisdom of visionary leaders. Talks about old school media versus new school media. Who can read it? Well, everybody can benefit, whether you're new to the industry or you've been around for a while. It doesn't matter. It applies to everybody. This book is available on Kindle, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble. And we're working on getting more and more providers as well. I believe Lulu and Hobo Candy, I think, are the other ones that it's available on, but we'll be releasing more of those as well. So, to me, I will be writing a part 2 later on in the year. I just want to make sure that we're able to get part 1 out to as many people as I can. So when I do put the second part out there, I'll be able to do it in a way where all I'm pretty much doing is filling in the blanks. But this book here is something that everybody can benefit by. So I encourage you that if you really want to learn about our industry, that this book here will provide you with a lot, and then some, old school media versus new school media. Plus, I have a lot of good interviews that I talk about as well. So, and people I'm developing and how to get content. So feel free to reach out to us. And also at the bottom of our ticker, if you've been watching us visually, then you can see everything that I've talked about here is also repeated down there as well. So great show tonight. Billy Regans, once again, is a guy you could be hearing a lot more out of. And I want to thank him. And I have a lot of other things that I'm planning on as well. We're really looking forward to our NFL draft coverage coming up shortly. And a lot of us will be a part of that whole situation. I'll release more details as time goes on. So on behalf of Smoke and Jeremy B., Mel Farr Jr., Travis Holmes, and Coach John Bonamago, my name is Scott Morganroth, the Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Inside the Pigskin. We will see you next Tuesday night. Have a great week. Everybody at Rodney Fouch, thank you very much for popping in as well. We appreciate you. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll keep you posted on some more headliners next week. Bye now.